I can't say for certain, but Jacob, I think this may be the first time I've seen your face.
Holy
I think
shit.
that's like,
Yeah, dude. I
yeah.
just
I know
realized.
the first time was the luchador mask.
Yeah. Did
And
we
then I don't know about the second time. I think this is the third time I've been on. I think you had us on for both of our Kickstarters.
did we do I couldn't remember today if we did Space Oddities too, if like we got together
Yes, we
for
did.
Space. Did we did? Okay.
We did. Of course we
Fucking
did. Come on. Who the fuck do you think I am?
I was I don't know where I was then. I don't know.
Apparently, you didn't have a face wherever it was.
Man, I've changed so much, you know. I've grown as a person.
Hold on.
Really.
It's that time of the week again. Prepare yourself for the surveyors of sauce, the sultans of spaghetti, the whispers in your ears. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the What's Your Spaghetti Policy podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Alex and Jacob.
I think I've grown a lot as a person since like we last saw you. So, I mean, like that's cool, you know. I don't
Hell
wear
yeah.
the mask anymore. I don't know if I was wearing it the second time we did this.
No, because
I don't
you guys
think
were
so.
on in 2022, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
I know
we? Shit,
Ben's been
dude.
on several times, but I know that every time I don't know if you did the first kick. We didn't have you on for the first Kickstarter. I know we had you on for the second one. Because that was before mine, because I was picking your brain about things to do on mine.
Did we pick up Space Oddities 2? Is that when we maybe started talking to you guys? Or I don't know. Man, it's been so long.
I
This is
mean,
like
I don't know. I've been here since day one, so you know.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is.
I got mine over there.
Yeah.
Mine's over there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Oh,
you're welcome for
yeah.
that, by
Yeah,
the way.
I found
Because
it.
when I backed the second one, I bought an extra number one because I knew you weren't going to do it.
hey,
I've got a in progress page on the drawing
Oh,
board.
shit.
So
So
and
behind
Ben's
the
got it
scenes.
behind his head. All
Look at
right.
that.
yeah.
Hey, look at
Well,
that. Look at that.
Jacob did back this time though.
I
Yes,
did.
you're
I
welcome.
tossed it. Yeah.
Yeah, he backed for $1, no reward.
I mean, hey, I think it was $2 technically speaking. I mean, but hey, who's counting? You know, who's counting? I just wanted to say, you guys, hey, I love it. I'm supporting it. You know, so
Don't worry. You know, getting $2 from Jacob is a big deal because, again, he likes free and he doesn't like to spend money. He likes to spend other people's money.
Dude.
He's very, very just like, hey, buddy, buy that.
you give me
And
a
then you tell
project,
him-
yeah, with a blank checkbook, I'll get it done for you, buddy. Don't even worry about it. You know,
As long as you don't have to foot the bill.
I
Absolutely.
mean, hey,
But as always, it's always great to have you guys on. And
Thank you.
it's been a minute since you've had a Kickstarter. So how's that going for you?
Been many minutes.
Yeah, countless minutes, I'd say. It's going good so far. I think we've got like what 20 something days left to go.
I saw you did 45 days this
something.
time. What was the thought on that?
Well, it was originally like we had a date that we wanted to start it, and then John was like, "We should end it on my birthday," and it's like, "Yeah, but we don't want to
oh,
dox
that's
your
right.
birthday."
I was
So we just
listening.
picked
Yeah,
a day that was close to his birthday instead.
Well, you have an internet birthday, right, Ben?
Yes, I'd 100% have.
I was like, I was listening to the debrief
we
recently, and then Ben was like, "Yeah, let's just completely dox John's birthday real quick. Let's just go ahead, you know, toss it out on your birthday." And so now that, I remember that like there was a whole discussion. It's like, well, now if we do it on a certain date, they're gonna think that's my birthday, and or it is my birthday. So it's good stuff.
Yeah,
Maybe
it
it
might
was all just-
still be my birthday.
Yeah, maybe it was all just misdirection. What do you 40 chess?
Yeah, there you go. But you didn't want to do 30 days? You just wanted to see if you could pull it off at 45? Because 45 was not an option when I did it. They had 30 and until
I think
it's backed.
Is it a
I think you could just-
45? Because
yeah,
I
you
think we started
could
on the
just- you could
10th
just
and it ends
pick.
on the 16th.
You can pick now?
Yeah, you can just pick whatever you want. I mean, you could do 1,000-day one. There might be an upper limit. I don't know, but like you can just pick their start date and pick your end date, and so I think it's technically like 36 days.
Is that what it is? I knew it was longer than 30. I was the first backer. I got the email and I was like, Done.
Mhm.
Number one.
Yeah, that's right. You were number one.
Number one,
I
bro.
got there.
Yeah.
Okay. I was getting there. I was making sure I had
He
the
didn't even
cash
know you
set
had one.
aside. All right. No, I went and saved it whenever you guys posted in the Discord or whatever. I went and saved it. It's like, doing my part. But
Yeah.
is there like an unspoken rule? Like, or is it like you were saying as far as like the days that you can put something up on Kickstarter? As it feels
Well,
like
I think
why
it's
wouldn't they
changed,
just let
'cause-
you put it up there
Well,
for
originally, because everything changed at the beginning of the year. So, like when I did mine last year, you had 30 days, and then you had unlimited or like until it was funded. And then like you read all these things telling you like, well, 30 days shows that you have confidence in your project, and those get backed more than the ones that don't, because you have a lot of people who will wait around, and then once it gets funded, they're like, oh, now it's for sure going to do a thing, as opposed to like if it's you're 90 days in and you only have 12 backers, like no one's going to back it, like it's not going to happen. So
well, and that's so there's a couple things, like there's very much that like last boost on the two that we did, and I imagine you probably saw the same thing on yours, where it kind of like goes up at the beginning and it's just this big flat fucking plateau where you're like, come on, fucking do something.
Yeah.
Poking it with a stick, and then at the end it pops up again. For all the people that have been, all the procrastinators will be like, yeah, I'll get around to backing it.
Yeah. Oh shit. Is that, do I need to do that now? Like, oh damn. Like, yeah.
It's okay. You can get around to upping your pledge later. It's fine.
Yeah.
I
I'm
always
just keeping my spot right now. Is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I always have to attribute Cliffy B for that last spike, because like he like quote tweeted it, and then it was just like, oh, that's an exposure of like 100,000 people of like that I would never reach. So like
he's contractually obligated to say that. Yeah. No. So
I'm not. And but the most like hilarious part of it all is like when we had him on the podcast, John, I don't know if you listened to it, he literally had no idea what I was talking about.
Yeah. He told, I heard that. He like didn't even remember back.
He was like, I don't remember doing it, but congratulations if I did. I'm like, well, okay.
So I'm a hero. You're welcome.
But I mean,
Just, like, pat
since
himself on
then
the
though,
back.
I have talked to him, and then like he's like, hey, he sent me a picture, he got his book and all this stuff, so like it's fine. So I'm hoping like I'm gonna have to like
just remind him that he backed Space Oddities 1 and 2 and loved it, and he needs to tweet
That's
about
the
number
important
3.
part.
yeah.
Oh, is it? Is that the important part? You've done this twice. I've only done it once. But since then, John, you've gotten married. Congratulations.
Yeah, I sure did.
Hell yeah.
How's that?
It's great. It was a good decision. I mean, people are like, "What's it like being married?" It's like nothing is different except for this thing on my finger. Like we'd been together for almost 8 years anyway, so it was
There's a
practically
tax break now,
common
right?
law. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
This would be the first year you could take advantage of
But
that.
say married filing jointly is generally speaking like the best one to go with, as far as like, I'm not a tax expert, but that's the one.
Listen,
Hey.
he's terrible at math.
Yeah, no, I'm an accountant.
I'll
but I wouldn't recommend
I'll
it.
look into everything.
Yeah.
Make sure to double check anything he sends you. But I didn't know like what the rule is. I mean, people know where you live, but I'm not going to say it just because like I don't want to be held responsible for doxing where you live.
It's 123 Fake Street.
Yes,
Hell yeah.
but like there's certain states that have different rules, and like and whether or not it's better to do one thing. You guys are super progressive out there, so you got nothing to worry about probably. But here's the funny thing: Jacob just read the first issue today.
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah. How'd you like it?
I procrastinate a lot, so I don't know if you guys know this, but I have ADHD. No, but I procrastinated. I loved it. It was great. Oh gosh, I wrote notes, so I didn't forget.
Yeah, he's got questions for you.
I did.
Ooh.
I did. Okay, first off, the first question I had, is it pronounced Jorge or George? Because I know
Jorge.
he's speaking Spanish at some points, and I just wanted to make sure. But then he looked like an alien because he had the little dingle on top of his head. So I was like,
That's how you know.
and I was like, I don't know, maybe aliens learn Spanish. And I don't know. It's 1,000 years in the future, so that's sick. I think right. If I
He
read
also
that
doesn't want to
correctly.
get in trouble for like profiling anyone on
Oh,
accident.
yeah, but I didn't know
Well,
because you
well-
can spell George that way as well. So like I didn't know for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
Gorge.
it goes either way, especially in California. Well, never mind. I guess you're not in California, but out here it can go either way. Sometimes they are named Jorge and people just call you George.
I mean, to be fair, I think Jorge is just George in Spanish. So
Yeah.
but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, do you call me
Well,
John or
and-
Juan? I don't
And
know.
in issue 2, in 3 or 4 years when you get around to reading that one,
I'll get there. I'll get there.
it's it kind of goes in. It tells you a little bit about him because he's Scotsican. So
Okay. Like, see, that's what I loved the first issue
bold.
because it felt like you were doing a lot of backstory without having to do the cutaway backstory of like, hey, here's this character, whatever. It's like, it's very much so, you know, here's the main characters, and you kind of already know something about them going into the second issue, which I haven't got to yet, but I'm sure that there's more like backstory and whatnot. And it felt like you guys built the world around it pretty quickly and well. Does that make sense? Am I making words right? Did the words make sense?
I don't know if it's what you mean, but I understand the words you're saying.
Hey, it's great. That's all I'm trying to say is it's great. I don't know, but yeah.
What other questions do you have?
Well, yeah, that's
shit.
what happens when you spend 20 years mulling over an idea before you do anything with it. Like you get a pretty good idea of what's going on.
That's fair.
Like we have a good idea at least.
Yeah, we know these characters well, so I'm glad that we were able to impart some knowledge without it being too inside baseball. Like I'm glad it didn't come off like, you know, what is going on with these guys? Like, who are they? Because, you know, we do have the answers inside our heads. So if you got a feeling for it, then that's good.
Yeah,
That's
and
good.
it's one of those things where you didn't waste any pages. I think it's what I'm trying to say too, where it's like you every page, because I mean, especially with like indie comics and whatnot, and like doing things through Kickstarter, like you don't have a lot of page space to waste there, and it didn't feel like you didn't have to go back and do a bunch of talking about like, oh well, there's this main character and he's like this guy and he does things, and then here's his friend, he does things too, and it felt very like fluent. I did have a question about like, since it does take place in the future, like in a futuristic world, like how do you guys come up with like the names for different things? Because like the one thing I remember is like the drink that he gets in the first issue is like the shim sham something. So I didn't know if like there was a process if you guys just go to like a word creator simulator on Google and just like, hey, make me a word for a drink, and it's like, yeah, here's a word. I used to do that for my D&D characters when I couldn't come up with a name, but you know,
That's more technology than we use. I think I had even forgotten about that, but yeah, I think we were just sitting there and I was just like, whatever, Borkin shimmy shim. Okay.
hell
And
yeah.
it's like,
Nailed
I
it.
don't know.
Crushed it.
It's essentially just pull broken words from dysfunctional brains and
I think it works.
I've found that there's a lot of like you find a lot of letters popping up more often when you're creating alien things, like things that don't exist, like
lots of G's. And
yeah,
B.
B and G and O pop up all over the place. It's so weird.
You guys
I don't
crushed
know
it. I think it feels fluent, so
There has to be like some sort of subconscious reason for that. I don't know what it would be. I'm not a therapist or a psychologist, so I can't break that down. But
It's like
But,
random apostrophes and fantasy names.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
I think we all know what we're trying to say.
Awesome.
It's a bunch of space racism is what it is. Okay, you guys, we're projecting. We're doing space prejudice. You know, obviously they're gonna be called Blorkian or something like that. You know, so
has it
That's actually a terrible racial slur. You know?
has it ever crossed your mind to like do a cover with giant tits on it, because you know that's the thing on Kickstarter?
Yes.
Yeah, like anytime you scroll Kickstarter and you're like 5,000% funded, 45,000% funded. Oh, this guy's made $48,000 on Tits, the comic. All right.
There was a comic on Kickstarter called Boobs.
I mean, dude, they know their target audience is all I gotta say. I know when I was on Blue Sky, that's like, now granted, it is a very, it's not as algorithm based because you have to build your own algorithms. But when I was on Blue Sky, it's like, yeah, it was like every Kickstarter because I was on the Kickstarter feed or whatever. It was like, yeah, anything with boobs, like 100 likes on it, you know, which is like 1 million likes on Blue Sky if you got 100
But
likes.
like, why is that though?
Boobs sell, dude. What are you talking about? Hardy's
I mean,
Hardy's
I get
already
it.
crushed this. Like, yeah, like
I mean, I get it, but
People love boobs.
Yeah,
Dudes
they
love
always
boobs.
have,
Chicks
they
love
always
boobs.
will.
you would think you would stand out more by not having it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
or like do a cover with a big wiener. You know?
Yeah,
but
Nobody
Yeah,
wants to
but
see that.
No.
These when did standing out give nerds boners?
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, because they're never going to see a real set in real life. Is that what you're trying to say?
I think, man, the furry community is always funded, dude. Anything the furry community puts out, like 100% backed, like within a minute or two. Like they love their stuff. So
Yeah, you just need to get a little bit of smut into Polar Destroyer.
that's what I keep telling him, man. I keep telling him he
Gross.
could.
I
He
mean,
had an opportunity to put.
Martha had tits. I don't know what you're talking about.
He had
Yeah,
the opportunity
yeah.
to put a nice honking cock on Jack, you know, just for the furry
He's
community.
got a
alone.
codpiece. What do you want?
Yeah, I want to see it. I want it like the slow fade
Open
where
it.
goes down and like it just flops out, dude. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. But it's fine. It's fine. It's whatever.
Artistic vision, right?
It's like the Batmobile shields in the Tim Burton movies.
Absolutely.
And it just
pinup opportunities for issue 2, man.
I mean, the thing is, Jacob's always asking me, it's like, what if the furry community gets it? Great.
That's what I'm saying. I think that
Let
you should embrace it.
I don't have to do it. I can embrace them, but I don't have to use that as like a creative direction.
You just put like a headline over the comment, like furries love this, and sold.
There you go. So your book is 80% done, right? Issue 3. Is that right?
Yeah, depending on how you calculate percentages.
That's what you said.
Yeah. The pages. I mean, it should be more done than that now.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got
John.
like all the core art's all done, and it's being colored presently. And John's finishing like the side story, like we're doing like a retro. It's kind of like a background story on a new character.
Okay.
That ends up playing a role in the main plot.
Okay.
He's finishing those ones up, or he's working.
Yeah. Originally, it was going to be like a little 5-page side story, and but it's blown up into like a 14-page side story. So it's going to be like almost half the book.
Very nice.
Okay. How many pages the book's going to be?
This one's probably going to be anywhere from like 32 to 35.
Okay.
Maybe 33.
That feels
somewhere
heavy.
in that range.
Is that how many? Like, what are comics?
28 standard.
Okay.
28.
Well, I mean, if you buy a DC comic these days, they're friggin' 20 pages.
Yeah,
It's
8 pages of ads.
Bananas. Yeah, and that Space Oddities #1 was 40 pages. We just
I read 40 pages.
Yeah.
That's sick, man.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, that's a new record.
you.
That's a new record for me. That's crazy. I feel great now. So
Now you should also feel honored because like when first time he read mine, he read it fucking backwards.
okay, I had just come off of reading 1,000 chapters of One Piece, okay? And so I'm reading manga, you read right to left. And so like I started reading this, and I was obviously reading the first page, right? I was reading the first page, but as I was reading it, I was going right to left like you normally do. And I was like, everything feels kind of backwards. Doesn't feel like it's happening in the right sequence. And I was like,
Because it wasn't.
And then I had to take a step back, and I was like, oh yeah, I got to read it the right way. So, but it's
The
good.
American way, bro.
Hey man, I can't help it. Why do we have to do things backwards?
Did you ever think about splitting up your story, like having like a one shot or like a spinoff, and then filling it in more, or was it always the plan to? Because I know you said it was like originally like 5 to 6 pages originally, and then it sort of has extrapolated out. Did you ever think of splitting it in half, or did you?
I fully did. Like that was actually kind of where how we ended up incorporating it, because we had it because we put our scripts together, and we had like a little like a shorter 5-page kind of brief little adventure in there, because I wrote mine and I was like, like just got carried away while I was writing it. And then like John looked at it and he's like, this is like 12 to 14 pages. And I was like, ooh, oopsie. That's too much.
It happens.
That's not what
I looked at it and said, I'm not drawing this.
And so, but I really liked it. And so like after a while I was like, okay, well, if he's not going to draw it, maybe I could just, commission out another artist to draw this, and we could offer it as like a side issue, like a stretch goal or something like that. But then John decided he didn't like giving up that much art in his book to someone else. And
I understand.
This guy over here.
This
guy over here.
In my defense, in the meantime, like with the little 5-page story, I was having the most difficult time like coming up with the 5 pages and what to do in them, and like I don't know, everything just came off as really weak to me. So then I went and Ben told me he was talking to this guy to do this thing, and I read his script and I was like, wait, can I cuss? I can't remember.
Oh yeah, dude.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was like, I fucking love this story. and I was like, wow, holy shit. Like, when did you write this? And he's like, this is the same one it was in the beginning. And I was like, oh, oops. But I think by that point I was so starved for not starved for an idea, but like nothing was panning out. And I was just like, I need to do something. And then I read it and I was like, oh shit, this is really good. It's going to be long, but I want to do it, and I don't want somebody else to do it. Because what if that guy's really good and he makes me look bad?
Hey,
it's true. A complicated process.
To his credit, that guy was really good. He was just not very good at actually doing anything, because I never never really got anything out of him at all over
I
like
mean,
Was
7 months.
was that part of the holdup, or was it just like just a mixture of things? Because it's
But
not
say-
been that long. I mean, I wasn't gonna call you out, John.
It's been a long time, and it was my fault.
It's been like 2.
You guys got like a
almost-
shit ton of stuff going on. So I mean, it's not really like I don't feel like it's anybody's fault, but it just from listening to the pod or whatever, it felt like, you know, John's got a bunch of stuff going on, and then Ben would have a bunch of stuff going on. It's like, hey, like fucking life, dude. Like it's.
If
I don't
fucking
think
Ben
it's-
decided to disappear for like 15 days.
Yeah, just wait. Didn't you go backpacking or something like that, or is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did
Also,
that as well. Yeah.
where
I
did
I
you
went-
go recently? Like you went with your family somewhere. Was it the
Philippines.
Philippines, right? Was it?
I went to the Philippines. Yeah.
Fucking,
And then,
okay. It was like 2
then
episodes.
after that-
We had you on right after that.
and then after that, I went out into the New Mexico desert for 12 days.
And that was fun? Or was it like,
It was super fun.
hell
And
yeah.
that was fun.
Yeah, no drugs even.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, damn. I feel like
So-
that's
So
part of
what
going
did
out
you?
there.
Okay, so what do you do for 12 days in the desert?
A lot of walking.
I mean, I figured as much.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we did like
What else?
70 something miles. No, it was cool. There was we shot shot guns and made food and played games, and everyone else but me rode horses because I was too fat to ride their horses because they had a 210-pound weight limit. I'm like, well, I'm 215, so
Damn, dude. I mean,
Are
that's
you
not your
really?
fault. You come right into the goal, right over the goal. Don't worry about it, dude. You know, you can do
Yeah.
it next time. Fuck
so I
those
got
horses.
to take a video of them walking by. I've ridden horses before. It's not that exciting.
I
That's
mean,
always what I've thought. I've never ridden a horse. I'm just like,
You're not missing much.
I rode a horse on the beach on my honeymoon recently, and it was not fun. They were walking really slow, and I was bouncing a lot. Like my
Oh, yeah.
tailbone hurt, and like my undies were riding up. Like
Mhm.
I had to pee.
and you get one bad hop, dude, and those nuts go under there, and you get squished on. Oh man, you're talking about like a bad
Man.
afternoon.
I raced
If you do it for any
motocross
length
and
of
did-
time, your knees hurt.
Yeah, I raced motocross and did like jet skis and stuff. I don't feel like a horse is going to be that much better.
It's fun though. I rode a
Is it?
horse. I rode a horse when I was
Yeah,
like,
you
Definitely
had
better.
horsepower. You don't need a real horse.
yeah.
Right. I had multiple horsepowers.
Yeah.
So-
One
Do you ever have-
horsepower is not exciting.
You ever have a jet ski take a leak or a dump while you're sitting on it though? That's pretty exciting.
Is it? I mean, I'm sure it's fun. I mean, their horses are cool and like I'll pet one, but like, meh.
They don't like tasers. I found out. So
Who does?
no, I mean like
That's it.
apparently because I was so it was like a long time ago. I was with my ex girlfriend. We were at their parents' house or whatever, like out in the middle of nowhere in like Missouri or
Shoot
some
horses
shit.
with tasers?
No, I wasn't shooting a horse.
They
But she
weren't
had
into
the horses were over at the fence, and I was in the car, and like she had a taser, and then I clicked it once, and it did the whole zappy thing, and the horses like freaked the fuck out, and they're like, "Oh yeah, don't do that." I was like, "Okay," and I just put it down. They don't like tasers, so
Oh, it wasn't like, let's go horse tasing.
yeah, I wasn't
Yeah.
like run up to the horse, and like, "Hey, look at this," and then you're like tasing him real quick
It's
and
not-
everything.
Sounds like that might have happened previously, which is why they don't like the tasers.
Yeah, maybe it's like a thing they do, like break him.
Yeah,
or
how did they
something.
know that?
yeah, it's kind of like a strange sound. I don't know, but
You think they just don't like the concept of tasers?
maybe they just don't like them.
They're protesting taser. They're
Well, that's a
anti-taser.
stupid word.
Yeah.
So what's the ultimate goal on this on is it like, are you going to keep going? Do you have like a plan for like an arc and in the
Yeah.
arc and then,
Yeah,
or
so
like,
it's 6-issue arc. It has been the plan since the beginning. So it looked like it maybe would need to go to like a 7th a couple times, but then we like kind of reined it in. Like it's moved a bit, but I think we're keeping it at 6. And then after that, like the team will be kind of set and ready for future adventures. If
God, you go in the One Piece direction. Go ahead and build in the crew now.
now, I don't know about 1,000 issues.
Hey, they did. They crunch
I
culture.
don't
is
know
not
if
an
you'll
issue
I
at
don't know
all,
if you'll
so-
make it that far.
Not at this rate.
I was going to say, I don't even
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point in our life, I'll probably be able to like download my brain into a computer, so I will live long enough to do that.
Yeah,
It can just AI my my artwork. We feed it enough of my art, and then it knows how to draw like me.
I mean manga. Like just
I'm
do what the
looking forward
manga
to that.
do. Yeah, just do what the manga do, and like the sketch, like the art. Just make it a sketch. You know, don't even have to worry about like a final draft or anything. Just like, kind of scribble it on there, push it out. Good. That's 1,000
What?
issues right there. You know.
Well, a lot of the manga, once they get bigger too, they just like hire 45 people to ape the first guy's style and finish books.
Yeah, and then they work, countless hours until the next issue drops, and they go right back at it. It's like, crunch culture is not an issue whatsoever. So with
never,
no,
that doesn't exist, bro.
They didn't have like a huge protest or anything. So
it's just called passion.
Yeah, they're just very passionate about getting paid. So
I saw a tweet today, and I'm gonna bring it up and ask you guys.
Oh, I got it right here. I was gonna do it as well. Yeah.
So I guess like writer here, writer below. You both wrote it together though, right?
Yeah.
So technically, Jon has more input than Ben because he draws and wrote, where you just.
He certainly likes to think he does.
Okay. So
I letter it though, so I can make him say whatever the fuck I want.
That's also true. So
yeah. That's why I don't push too hard on. I don't pull rank on the art because
just
then he'll just
like,
have them say like, "Oh, Jon's an asshole."
Jon's a piece of shit, and this like little blurb or whatever.
They're like running, and he's like, "Oh, look at me, he's strolling casually," because that's what he wanted in his script.
There's now anytime you see something obviously on Twitter, it's normally like just bait, right? But it brought up an interesting question, and it was like apropos because you guys were going to be on here today. But the tweet says, obviously this person is an artist, and he said, "In comics, all writers are inferior to the artist. Even if you're the best writer in the world, no one single person would care about what you wrote without the artist who gets them to look at it first. And the artist should always get half of the writing credit."
I mean,
let that sit there.
Wait, so the artist should get half the writing credit? Like they should get credit for writing, but they didn't do any writing, right? Is that what I'm reading? Like,
I mean, if you go the old Marvel method, I would almost I think those guys should get some writing credit because like they'd give them the barest of bones,
right?
And then they wouldn't even write the dialogue until afterwards. So like the dudes that were drawing Spider-Man, Steve Ditko and stuff, like they were putting a lot of narrative oomph into those stories for sure. That's not always the case. Like if you look at like a Grant Morrison or a Alan Moore script, like no, there's no room. There's no wiggle room for the artist at that point. He's not giving up any writing credit.
Right. Obviously, I mean, it's more, I guess this would be more of a modern take since, dealing with how comics have shifted in that sense too. But I obviously am biased in my take because it's like, well, I created it, I wrote it, and like, it's a team thing. Like first and foremost, it takes more than one person to do it. Unless you're doing everything by yourself, you have to get an artist to do it. So like comics are it's a visual medium first. Absolutely. And it's, you have to be careful how you say this, but it's like you need one to have the other. And me personally, unless it is a friend who is an artist, I have never picked up a book based on who the artist was. I always go with who the writer is. Now, that's not the right or wrong way to do it. It's just how I operate. Yeah. Because it can be the best art in the world, but if it's with a character who I don't give a shit about, I'm not reading it. Like, I'm not going to. I'm sorry. Like, I'll look at it. Hey, this is cool. But, like, I will put up with subpar art with a great story if it's about something I give a shit about. So, also, like, if it, in my case,
not Jon,
I'm all about, like, I'll collaborate and I'll do stuff. But at the end of the day, if I'm paying you, it's mine and mine alone, unless you're going to like start saying, oh, well, like I'll take, I'll give you 10 pages for free. And then we renegotiate it. Obviously you guys are in a different position than I am, but like at the end of the day, I came up with it. I'm paying you. And that's the transaction. That's our relationship. Now I will take input and you say, hey, like this panel will look better here. I think this looks really cool. Great. But I'm getting the writing credit because I wrote it all. I did it all, so it's just like,
yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. Like first off,
absolutely,
I'm the exact opposite from you. Like if there it could be an absolute dog shit story, and if the art's good, I'll buy it. I won't read it a whole lot, but I'll look at the artwork. But I won't buy something that somebody says this is the greatest story ever and the artwork is absolute shit. I will not buy it. I have to have good artwork. Also, like this calls back to the very problem that Stanley and Steve Ditko had from the start, because Steve Ditko always said that he was co-creator of Spider-Man because Stan Lee came up with the idea and everything, but he argued that the idea was not a fully fleshed idea until he drew it out and gave it visual life. So that, I mean, that was the big struggle for all those years. And there was only like one little interview where Stan Lee actually admitted to Steve Ditko being a co-creator, but it never happened, you know, with rights or with money or anything like that. Same thing with Bob Kane and Bill Finger. And then I had something else to say, and I don't remember because there were too many points and my brain couldn't keep them all together. That's fine.
Now, okay, how about
I got
this?
a couple out there.
How about if, as a writer, like you know, Ben had sort of talked about Alan Moore and all that. Like, if it is a very, very detailed, specific, like this character is 6'7", long black hair with a monocle, gray and black beard. Like, if it, like, how specific does it have to be in order for the writer to get credit for creating the character? Because like you're bringing it to life, but if they've done all the heavy lifting of doing it and giving you all these descriptors, like where does, but what if it's just like, you know, it's a dude,
bad guy,
go crazy,
draw bad guy,
bad guy. Go.
But it's exactly what you said, where like if you came up with all that and then you paid them to draw it, that's work for hire. That's nothing.
Yeah.
They don't have rights. They don't have rights to the character.
They don't have rights.
I mean,
Yeah, they're not even human anymore.
Yeah, they don't have any legal grounds to stand on for ownership, unless that is hammered out ahead of time. And to be honest, like as an artist, if somebody was starting up a series and I had any input whatsoever in the look of things, I would talk to them ahead of time, you know, because otherwise I'm just giving it all up. And I remembered the third point there, what that guy said about how artists should get half of the credit for writing. That's utter nonsense.
Right.
You know, like they are co-creators, they're co-storytellers, like they are both bringing it to life. But you know, if you look at it in like film terms, like the writer is the writer, the artist is the director. You know, like, and directors don't get writing credit for, you know, putting the story into a visual medium, and neither should a comics artist.
I just like, I like to buy things because they look good too. Like that's what my point was, that like there are times where like, yes, I would buy a comic because it looks rad as hell. But I'd pick it up and I'm not going to like flip through it or whatever, but I just look at the art and whatnot. I'm not reading the story necessarily. Like if I'm in a store, I also don't buy things, but I definitely think that like there is something to like, if you artwork can only carry you so far. Whereas like if I'm halfway through a book or halfway through a comic and the story's just like falling flat, like I'm not, like you said, I'm not going to finish it. And then again, like, then it turns like what John was saying, it just turns into like a coffee table. Like I just put it on the coffee table, like, this is really cool. Art's pretty cool.
I'll look at it.
And like the one thing was like, that I equated it to, like in the group chat where it was like Demon Slayer, and how I read through all that, and like the artwork's fucking great. Like Demon Slayer's got a great artwork, even the anime's got great artwork. But then as you get to the later chapters, spoiler alert, the story falls flat. It just becomes a stereotypical like kill the bad guy kind of situation. And it's just like, okay, you know, like I thought they were going somewhere with this. I thought it was gonna like have this big crescendo, because it's like the whole time they're trying to fight this one, it's just like kind of fell flat. So spoilers. I didn't spoil anything, but you know, if you're gonna finish Demon Slayer,
spoilers,
sorry,
it's for a non-spoiler.
So if this guy, if what this guy's saying is that they should also take half the blame if the story's shit, right?
Yeah.
No.
Like in the Demon Slayer example, like it got kind of shitty towards the end. That artist really dropped the fucking ball with the story.
Didn't make it good enough. Yeah.
But also there's to another point on mine too, is like, yeah, you're an artist, but like at the end of the day, like we'll take mine for example, Polar Story. I came up with everything, but like, and Hugo's great. Hugo has done wonders, and it looks amazing, and he's great. Yeah, but like without me, Hugo doesn't draw it. Without me bringing the story to the table, it doesn't exist. So like, I'm not saying that like, oh well, I'm just saying like there's multiple points, and I understand. I do understand what the guy is saying, because like artists do. In my case, artists do a lot of heavy lifting.
Yeah,
so I understand.
That's in the fucking artist credit.
Yeah.
He's like, you've already got your
the
credit,
whole
dog.
fucking
Yeah.
point of having
Yeah.
your own credit. You don't need half of somebody else's credit too.
It sounds like
It
this
does.
guy got gypped on something and like he's mad.
He sounds so butthurt, is what it
He
is.
sounds
Like,
real mad
he-
because like he didn't get extra credit for doing what he was paid to do or
him and his
whatever. I don't know.
buddy were making a comic together, and he just did not.
Mm-hmm.
His buddy was like,
probably
"Hey,
didn't get
yeah,
It was one of those freaking Al Gore tweets, man. Like it just happened to, because I'm in the indie comic space, so I get stuff like that all the time, and I'm start reading the comments, and I'm like, everyone's just like jerking this dude off, like, yeah, I'm a writer, but I agree with you, and I'm just like, you guys are so fucking lame. Like
Yeah,
you're not real people. Like this is like you can have that conversation, you can have like an actual discourse about it, but like, ugh, and this
Twitter has never been the place for actual discourse.
not especially not now. Like nothing is real. Like
It
you know,
never
you just-
was at that like the short character limit. Like that's not what that
True.
was
Yeah.
built for.
Oh, I got a question now. What is your talking about Space Oddities? Like, what would be your all's dream collab? Like with if you got together like with an artist or got together with like some other writer or like even just another comic, like what would your all's like dream collaboration be? Like just either like to throw Space Oddities into like another comic or like to have another comic kind of bleed into yours. Like what would your all's be? I gotta learn to like cut off the questions instead of like continuing on.
I mean, you can answer it too if you'd like.
I would think probably like
yeah, give me
I
a
don't
second
know.
while I think. Star Wars.
Okay, I mean it's hey, they need
I mean,
something.
I've never actually given this any thought, but Star Wars would be pretty cool. Or if there was like if we could somehow tie Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy into a comic book and then have our characters interact with them, that could be fun because it's such a part of the DNA.
It's also such a well-known IP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen the
pulling
movie. I've seen the
fingers.
movie, so you know.
I mean, my brain instantly went to just going animated because that was the original idea for this when we first came up with it. Anyway, it was an animated series, and so
It
to
looks
spin this off and like I would be fine writing for an animated series, but boy, animation's a lot of work.
okay. The little I've
Let me
seen,
tell you.
yeah.
I'd be perfectly fine like them hiring a company to do all like someone funding it.
Like here's John's art style. You guys animate this. You got this. You know, just
Go
like
for
give
it,
him
guys.
sketches. So
I mean, I'm still planning on pitching this as an animated series. Like I wrote a theme song for it. That I just did in GarageBand on my phone, and I've got a I'm gonna do an animatic for like an opening sequence. Like the idea of this being an animated series didn't go away completely. It was just like, okay, we have to do something with it, and we can do a comic on our own. And then that also turns into a sort of pitch Bible. So
that's as I was reading it, it did feel a lot like it could be an animated series. The one vibe I got from it that I remember now is that like it felt very Archer-esque, like with just like the characters, and then it also felt like it's like if you took Archer and then Cowboy Bebop in a sense and like mushed them together. And it's like with the Archer, like it have a very similar art style to Archer, but then also like with the going around in space and like collecting these novelties and whatnot, like and trying to at the end of the day trying to get that paycheck. It does have that very Cowboy Bebop vibe. And it's like, yeah, I could see this 100% being Adult Swim. Space Oddities is coming on. I'm sweating in my underwear for some reason because we didn't have air conditioning, but I'm watching it. I'm turning it on. Hey.
That's interesting. We've actually gotten those two properties a few times. It's wild because I've watched them both in small doses, but I don't have a firm grasp on it, but I think it's really cool that it's translating to multiple different people in that fashion.
Hell yeah. And Polar to Shore is also another one I think would be a cool animated series, but only shot in like a primal. Like I think we talked about it last episode, but like
you'd have to way simplify the art.
Yeah, for sure.
Fine, but it's
Well,
more
yeah,
about
or go with the art style of that original concept artist.
the
that you were working with.
Batman animated series, like sort of
Yeah.
look. But it's so funny that like the three of us, we have had this idea, and we ended up doing comics, but the original pitch of the thing was not comics because mine was a video game, like in the same vein of like Shank, like a side scroller sort of beat 'em up, or like shoot 'em up, I guess. And yours being an animated series, it's creating the thing, like you said, it's like, okay, well, like, let's just do a comic. That's the way it was for me. It's like, well, fuck it, I'll just try it. Like, and I put everything that I possibly could into that first issue. And then it's just like, I had a lot of problems, but I had such a fucking good time doing it. And I was just like, and as soon as it was done and it was shipped out and it was fulfilled, I was just like, fuck, let's go again. Like, let's run it back. And then,
and what about that feeling of getting your baby in your hands for the first time, like the physical comic book? Like, I've never gotten tired of that. I love it so much.
Unbelievable. Mine hit me when I got the proof.
Yep.
I was like, I literally I was shaking in my kitchen, and I was just like, I can't, like you sort of like black out, because like I'm like looking through it, and like I don't know what I don't know what I'm seeing. Like, it's just like, I know it's there. And then like, then it's like I come back later and I'm like, okay, well, this needs to be fixed. This needs to be whatever. But like when I got that proof, I was just like, this is insane. Like, this is the craziest thing I can't believe I've done it. And then like, there's no real, like, it's hard to explain that feeling. You all know what it feels like, but like, just the thing that you're like, I've had this thing in here, for me, it was like 10 years, and it's like, I got it out. And then it was like, okay, at the end of the day, I was like, I put my best foot forward, and like, and now we're just going. Like, now it's a thing. Now there's expectations. Now there's people who want more. And it's just like, I'm in this like weird, it's all me, but it's like this weird social construct where like beforehand it was like everyone's cheering you on, hey, you can do it. And now that it's out and it's the thing, and you all can attest to it, where it's like, you guys are like, well, shit, like we took way too long to get from 2 to 3, that's on us, life happens, but like, you don't have, that's the one thing about like it, because I'm like, I'll see people and I'm like, man, it would be nice to have help, but it's really fulfilling to do as much of it as you can on your own, because you answer to no one. And that's, oh man, like that's so nice, because like I don't like answering to anybody. Like I don't.
I mean, you got to reach out for help though too when you need it. I mean,
sure,
like,
absolutely. I mean, Ben like helped me out in a pinch at the very end. I was just like, I need a letter. Like this, we got to do this. Like I can't, because again, we understand it, but like bad lettering can like ruin a book.
Yeah,
it's like
especially once you start lettering books.
Yeah.
Then you actually, like, I've never in my life like focused on the lettering before, but now that I've started doing that, you cannot be unseen.
Yeah. And like, I've seen people, that's one of those like Reddit discourses things where it's like, an underrated part of comics is like lettering, and like people don't take that into account. And it's like the layman, and like, because people always want to ask me like, how'd it go? Like, and it's just like, oh, it's a lot of work. Like most people think you write a thing, you hand it to an artist, they give it to you, and someone slaps words on it, and then you send it to a printer. And it's just like, that is the most minimum like way of approaching it and looking at it. There is like so much work that goes into making a 28-page comic book, and it's just like a year's worth of work for a 10-minute endorphin hit if you're lucky. And it's just like, yeah, it's insane.
Well, yeah,
but,
like
no, sorry, go ahead. I'm just talking. Go ahead.
I was just going to go back to the film comparison with comic books and movies. Is that like a letterer really is like the audio engineer or the audio editor on there, that like if you fuck up somebody's like dialogue levels, then it's going to stand out. It's going to taint your project. Like you could have the most beautiful artwork there, but like if it sounds bad, then it's going to be bad.
Like fucking Marvel. Every single Marvel movie, I think they crank the background music up to 11, and they turn the dialogue really, really, really low. And then as soon as action
might be your
starts,
TV.
No, I mean this is like
there's
movie
that setting
theaters.
On the TV that does that.
It's movie theaters. It's at home. It's on my phone. It's like you can't hear the fuck they're saying, and then like action starts, and you can hear those explosions. That's for sure. Like yeah, you're going deaf, buddy. So
they let Michael Bay in there, and he just went crazy with the knobs.
He needs to do more stuff.
They know what they're confident in.
Yeah,
it ain't the writing.
What are some of the things that if you look back on like that very first Kickstarter, you guys were probably just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And the second one, you're just like, whatever. So now you're on the third one, and you've had a little bit more time to gestate from issue 2 to 3, and you've had longer to plan it. Like, what are some of those things that you've learned now that you just like had no idea with the first issue, or like things that you've done to sort of help it ease it into like, hey, it's not as much work.
Ease it in.
Yeah,
for sure.
ease it in. It's nice and slow.
I mean, The thing I've done to ease it, I guess, the most was I've just gotten comfortable with it to a degree. So like it's the third one. So it's like the first one, I remember it was like I'd be checking the Kickstarter every day, being like, like, all right, what's going on? What's happening? Why isn't no one backed in 4 days? What's happening?
Why does everyone hate me?
Yeah. And after going through that twice and kind of understanding the cycle to a bit and you know, after not having failed twice, which probably also plays into it, like there's a level of confidence, I guess, that you know, like, yeah, everything's going to be fine. Which is, you know, taking a bit of the anxiety of the whole ordeal out of it for me, which is nice because I don't do anxiety very much.
Comparison is the thief of joy, right? So like it's nice to see what other people do, but to aspire to be like, well, I wish I had that, or like you know, mine should be doing this. Like it's that puts you in a bad mindset and a bad vibe too. So like that's with me when I launch mine. Like I'm really confident about mine, but then it's just like the hardest part about making a comic book is getting someone to back a Kickstarter, getting someone to buy an issue, because like
Finding your audience, man, that's
fighting,
tough.
dude.
I still don't know how to do it. Like
it's so hard, man. You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot fucking make him drink it. And it's just like, from what I've experienced in the short amount of time, is that being in person helps, because like I've been at the local comic shop that has it, and I just happened to be in, and someone's like, and then like, you know, shout out to Jonathan, the guy who runs the comic book store. He's like, well, this guy created it. And then like I start talking to this person, they're like, well, shit, I'll buy a copy. And it's like, that seems to work so much easier. Obviously, like
So now
Twitter,
you just got to talk to 1,000 people.
well, that's the
and
thing.
you
Is like,
gotta
I
let 'em
want to
know,
do a table, and
hey,
I think I could do really well. It's just like, at the end of the day, for me, as it is with you all, like we have day jobs, we have families, we have a life. So like, this is a hobby for me. It's an expensive hobby and it's fun and it's fulfilling, but at the end of the day, like it's not my livelihood. It's not what I use to, you know, bring home a paycheck. So like, where do I find that perfect weekend? And maybe there's never one. You're just gonna have to like make it a weekend to go. And it's just, but then it's like, I don't want to spend 2 days at a table. Like I don't want to do that, you know? So
and all the cool stuff's happening around you. Well, like I know I've got a
gonna
few
catch
writer
COVID.
friends that do writing full time, and they're going to cons all the time as a novel writer, which is even you know, as far as cons go, unless it's for readers, I think you get less attention than people. You know, there's no art to draw their attention in. You know, you
Right.
gotta you can only have your story to
nobody
sell.
wants to read a book, you know?
But they'll travel. I mean, they travel the country doing cons all the time, and like, it sounds not like something I want to do at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess if it's what you do for your, if it's how you bring home money, I guess it's a little different mindset. Like with us,
Yeah.
you know, it's a fun
More
thing
of a
for all
hustle.
of us to do. And, you know, if you know, if there's more at stake, I guess, other than just time, then maybe. But, you know, there's like a couple, I've missed 3 possible cons due to whatever reason, because like I had all these plans of like what I was going to do. Yeah, like, you know, I'll have the book, and like I'm supposed to do it in February, and like in an ideal world I'll have 2 issues. Will I? Unlikely. But like, you know, you still got to have those goals and like shoot for those things. But you all have done stuff, right? You went to a store and did a table. How did that go?
Oh yeah, I've done all sorts of local comic conventions. I mean, pre-pandemic, I used to do them all the time because I mean, I've got all the art prints. I've got a line of like mini prints that I do, and you know, I've got a ton of stuff to sell. Um, it's tough sometimes with independent comic books because a lot of people, and you'll recognize them, especially like later in the day. A lot of people are just getting pitched at all day, and I'm not that pushy.
I'm not.
You know,
either.
like I try to, my big pitch when I'm doing comic books is like, hey, come up, take a look at anything. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll leave you alone. I'm low pressure because I hate it. I hate seeing people standing 10 feet away, like kind of looking at your stuff. Like, do I want to approach them? But I don't want to get barked at. You know, I don't want to be pitched right now. I want to just be left alone. Like, it really bums me out.
That's
You know,
me.
the people that well, you know, and then people feel the need to say like, yeah, like if they're not into it, like I'm fine, but they're like, oh, I'll come back
God,
later,
yeah,
or
don't
I'll
put me
probably
on the
be back.
spot,
It's like,
man.
They won't.
Yeah,
it's like you're not going to be back, and that's okay. You know, every once in a
Occasionally they
while
do
I'm
come
wrong,
back,
but
and you're like,
yeah.
whoa, that guy came back.
oh shit,
No,
I not
I'm
believe
that
it.
guy.
actual
Yeah.
thing.
Dude, I'm that guy. I literally at the last con I went to, like this print right behind me, I didn't have any cash, and I didn't want to pay like he had like a $3 fee, and I was like, I'll be back, and it's just like whatever, and then like an hour later, I was like, I told you I'd be back, and he was just like, awesome, like he was just like, I don't give a shit, whatever, just give me my money. But like I'm that person because it's like you hear it all day long. Well, I might come back, and it's like, no, you're not.
But
And
I'm that
it's just-
person that's like, yeah,
Would
don't
you-
pitch to me because I just want to look at things. I don't want to have to, I don't want, you're putting me on the spot. I can't tell you if it's good or not. Like you saw me at the beginning of the episode. I have a hard time I've had time to rehearse this, right? And so, yeah, people are like, even like when in selling positions, because me and Alex went to a couple of those like the mini con or whatever, like we flipping through books and stuff and slabs as they call them, I think. And the guy's just like, yeah, you got anything you're looking for? I'm like, dude, I don't even know, man. Don't talk to me right now. I'm just looking, dude. I'm just looking. I don't want to have a
That's
conversation.
just a general rule. Don't
Just
disturb.
browsing.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
disturb him. I see. Like, I want to get a standee. So sorry, Ben. I want to get a standee, like a 6-foot standee of Jack, and just set it beside me. And it's just like, if that is gauging your interest, oh shit, I just not gonna say word. Then come talk to me. But like, I don't feel like I need to explain what this is. You know what I mean?
What I would recommend is get one of those banners that everyone has that you pull up behind you. Get, it's 6 feet tall. You can put your best image of Jack on there. You put your name on there, and then put it behind you and have your books on the table. Like that's the easiest way to pull somebody in, is just to have
but nobody
something.
has standees anymore. I want to do the standee.
Oh, I see. See
Huge
You
cock
got
on
to
him,
score
yeah.
a standee.
the problem that I would have with, or that I would advise that you consider with the standee at least, is that when you're doing conventions, the table and the space is very well mapped out. Like
Yeah.
for my mini prints, I've got a spinner rack, but I can't use it at most shows because I can't pull my table out of the way or put a spinner
Sure.
rack out where people are walking. I love the thing, but it's just, it doesn't fit into their floor plan.
I have
But
the
if you're
benefit
doing
of
like a
having
store
one
show
thing,
yourself, then
Yeah, I was gonna say Alex has got one thing to sell.
Yeah, I'm not an artist, so I don't have a portfolio of stuff and prints. I've got
it's
books.
true.
Which is tough.
Get yourself like a multi-tiered display with like 3 shelves and just fill it up.
Science project with it, yeah, like the three.
Hey,
Oh yeah, the
Put all the variant covers out there so it looks like there's a lot more issues than there are.
Absolutely.
Like thankfully when like we went a while with just Space Oddities #1, and it was kind of weird, awkward doing a show like, hey, I'm sitting behind John, be like, I did this, and he's got like all this stuff around.
I've got so much stuff.
It was fun when he needed to go to the bathroom and I got to pretend to be the artist. I'd be like, pretend I'm drawing something. Be like, yes, this is mine.
yeah.
Like I want to bring somebody with me, but I'm hesitant to bring Jacob because he's socially awkward. But like I need someone to
I'll
handle
just
the
be
money
standing there,
while I
dude,
talk.
giving people thumbs up. I'll give them thumbs up. I can handle the money.
Yeah,
Just
that's
wear
fine.
a shirt that says "Don't talk to me, give me your money."
Hell
you
yeah,
go.
dude. That's it. And it's just got a picture of Jack on it, and that's it.
Now
Pointing a gun at them.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna switch gears, right? So like on this thing that we have, like we like to talk about weird sports, and I think Ben might have been on here last time we talked about Hans Niemann. Remember him, the chess guy?
Oh yeah, with the butt plug.
Yeah. Hey,
And
it's
Magnus
not ever
Carlsen.
It's not ever been proved if he's
Yeah.
used in a butt plug or not. But
Yeah. So Hans Niemann and Magnus Carlsen, they're like these big rivals, whatever. They're the Sabertooth and Wolverine of the chess
Sound
world.
like chess players.
they really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like one's like 22. He's like a 22,
He's a
23-year-old
chess prodigy.
prodigy.
Yeah.
And the other one's like 50.
I bet it's not even his real name.
It's
Probably not.
Probably not.
Magnus.
Now, you all have probably watched enough like true crimes. Like, when men kill people, it's like murder. It's like stabbing, shooting, whatever. But like women are a little bit more methodical with what they do. They poison, they
very-
plot, they all these things, right?
It's very outdated
So-
and sexist, but that's whatever. That's fine.
I'm going on
Drag you to
based on
death.
facts,
Oh, right, guys.
Jacob. Facts on the true
Hey,
TV
women
or
can
whatever.
kill
it is.
people just as good as
Absolutely.
men can kill people. Okay.
Absolutely.
Ever heard
I'm
of
Just
Bell
not
and
with
Gunnis?
muscles.
I'm saying that women can control their emotions more than men, Jacob.
I mean, hey, I'm all for.
And they're more well thought out. See, you're taking the negative. I'm taking the
all
positive.
for like an all-woman Congress, all-woman presidency. I honestly
Alex's
like
wife is off screen making him say that.
Me?
Yeah.
No. No,
just let them take over, man. I don't want to run the shit anymore, you know? Like, we're doing such a bad job, you know?
Anyways, back to the topic at hand. So another chess player has been suspended after allegedly poisoning her rival. So a chess player has been suspended by the Russian Chess Federation, which, I mean, the irony, right? And is reportedly facing jail time after she allegedly tried to poison her rival at a chessboard during the tournament. Amina Abakarova, a 40-year-old chess coach, from somewhere in Russia, it doesn't matter, is accused of trying to poison her rival, a 30-year-old Umagant Azamanova.
Nailed
I
it.
did pretty good there. Nailed it. The incident unfolded during the chess championship on August 2nd. That first reported that the story is now making headlines in state Russia, blah, blah, blah. The whole thing is she was caught on a security camera footage that shows where she calmly walked over to the board that the other lady was supposed to use and appears 20 minutes later. And then she'd previously asked if the cameras were in operation and told that they weren't.
Okay, that's red flag. Like,
then she smeared what is said to be potentially deadly mercury from a thermometer on the pieces.
Oh, wait,
Right, that's not gonna.
Isn't mercury like that's
hold
like
mercury in your hand for like an hour, and it, it's not good for you, but it's not gonna like make you throw a chess match. Come on, lady.
She said she began feeling unwell 30 minutes later, complaining of nausea and dizziness, prompting an immediate call for medical assistance. Doctors eventually concluded that the poisoning was likely the cause. And after reviewing the footage from the security camera, the arbiter reported that it was to the police, and she was detained.
Yeah, because she asked, did the security cameras work? Like, yeah, I feel like that's enough to like detain her, honestly. Yeah. If I walk into a grocery store and I'm like, "Hey, your security cameras working today?" or like, I'm not gonna like get to walk out of there very without some eyes.
Around.
So,
but
I mean, go ahead.
I've handled mercury. Like I used to have a little vial when I was a kid.
Yeah, they used to have it used to be in thermometers all the time. Like they were talking like, I've seen a mercury thermometer before.
I just bought a vial of it with like a removable screw top at like a science museum.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, and you can like pour it.
I mean, you're a little older than we are, so they allowed that sort of shit back in the day.
I guess so. Back in 1985. But like
it had to be like something more than just mercury.
It beads up. It's got like incredibly high surface tension. So like if you tried to wipe mercury on anything, you're not going to get any sort of meaningful amount of mercury to stick to it.
It's the residue,
she
man.
Just gets back to the board. And there's like a bunch of silver liquid all over it, and she's like, "What is this?" The coach is like, "I don't know."
Yeah, the player's like, "Well, I guess I'll continue my my habit of licking my fingers before I move every piece."
Sometimes I like to suck on the pawns a little bit while I'm thinking, just like, Jesus Christ.
You would.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, yeah, if they're wooden chess pieces, I'm probably going to chew on them.
Wooden?
Yeah. Have you seen any other kind of chess pieces? Like, is it?
Yes. Oh. Like porcelain, right? Marble?
Ivory?
Ivory?
Only ones I've seen have been carved out of wood from like a red oak.
Adamantium? Kryptonite?
I would just name it metals. Okay. Like,
uranium?
Mercury chess pieces?
Yeah, it's got to be real cold, but it's cool.
I mean, I just never knew before starting this podcast that chess was such a diabolical and cutthroat sport.
It all feels like a work, though. Even with the Hans Niemann shit, it was like, it feels, again, like a dying sport that they're just trying to get the name out there for. Like the hot dog eating competition. It's the same situation where it's like, how does Nathan's, get more publicity? Like, yeah, you got to make a little drama. Apparently, like Joey Chestnut and who's the other guy that he was like his rival there for a long time? It was the
little Asian kid.
Yeah, the Asian. I think he's not a kid anymore. I think he's like 20 something. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, the Asian kid.
He's like in his 40s.
Yeah, he's an old. Apparently, they're gonna have a Netflix.
Hey, they age really well.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the guy is shredded. So like, it's apparently that was his secret. It's like you got to be super shredded to eat all the hot dogs or something. I don't know, but.
Well, it's like, what's his name, Man versus Food, man? Like, he had to stop doing it because
his wife was like, "You're gonna fucking die if you don't." So yeah, you gotta.
Like, yeah, did you see the amount of food that guy ate?
Dude, I watched this YouTube channel, Beard Meats Food. He is a thin, fit dude, but he can just jam it in. It is so insane. I love it. It's disgusting and it's great.
Give it 5 or 6 years, he'll slowly morph into a giant.
He's been doing it for like 5 years.
Oh no shit.
I mean, I guess he used to like super like train and lift and shit. So
well, like from what I understand is as long as you eat like the recommended like caloric intake and you try and stay at like one day of overeating isn't going to destroy like the fitness that you've worked so hard for. So I mean, it would be one of those things where like he runs 90 miles a day as well.
Are you going to trust science?
yeah. And
I mean,
and it's also
dare
what you
you.
do on your off time. You know, like I saw somebody who trains for their eating competitions by just eating like giant bowls of salad, like the most giant bowl you can think of, and they just throw chicken and lettuce and tomatoes and shit, you know, like stuff that's not so unhealthy, but it still like expands your stomach and you're still, you know, just
feeling like shit. You know?
taking in that much
Yeah.
surface area.
Jacob, tell me about this story.
Oh God, which one? Which one?
He was talking about chicken, and you said
Okay.
something about
Oh,
unseasoned
dude.
chicken.
Okay, so do you guys? How do you guys have siblings by chance? Like you don't have to
I do
dox
not.
yourselves or whatever. Like, do you have siblings?
I do not.
Have
I
you ever
don't.
gotten in
Child
like
here.
in a scuffle or an argument or like even like a fist fight with your siblings over anything?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
I was
Do you-
bigger though, so I won.
How do you feel about unseasoned chicken?
It sucks.
I mean,
Yeah,
is it
it has
worth?
nothing to do with my siblings, but my mom never seasoned anything. It's
gotta
the
be,
worst.
That's got to be. Yeah, I'm
So,
like
so
one of
this
the-
is your wheelhouse right here.
Yeah.
Siblings fighting and
and
unseasoned
dry.
chicken.
okay. So is it worth? Is unseasoned chicken worth stabbing your brother over? Is what I'm wondering.
Did he make it?
Oh yeah.
Depends on
He
the brother.
did-
Okay.
where did he put it?
Okay. Full disclosure here. Full disclosure
It's
is like
never about the
everybody's
chicken.
everybody's fine. This has to be honestly one of the funniest stories I think that I've read in like Wisp history. Okay, Watch Spaghetti Podcast history. So
Wisp stands for?
yeah, a little bit.
I know. I
Sometimes.
don't know. It's like he explained it as if no one.
Well, I didn't know. I didn't
Well,
know if
I thought it was a
enunciated
stutter at first.
Yeah, that's what I'm
and then I was
saying.
like, oh, hey,
I'm,
look at
so
that.
I'm trying to enunciate better, right? So, okay, the whole point. All right. So here's the
All right.
TLDR.
Now
is-
you've ruined it. Now he's subconscious.
Nice. This is great. I love this. Okay, so brother and sister, bro and sis are cooking, right? It's not a Pornhub thing. Okay, this is going in the wrong direction.
Okay.
Or anything like that.
right.
They're cooking chicken. Sis starts to just hammer at him. It's like, yo, why didn't you season the chicken? All right. She's like, why didn't you season the chicken so it could crisp up? And he's like, I did or whatever. Eventually, it turns out like she just keeps dogging him. Eventually, she's like, what does she call him here? Proceeds to berate him, and eventually, bro, like he gets to the point where he just snaps. Right? I think she called him a dog at some point. Just
You a
couldn't.
dog.
Yeah, he snaps. He pushes her, punches her in the face.
Wow.
Naturally, right? This is like okay, so yeah, obviously it's very comical at this point, but naturally, dad pulls out a gun, fires 2 into the ceiling, all right? Because like you've seen the movies, that stops everything.
Right.
Doesn't
Very old
stop
school.
anything. Doesn't stop anything. She grabs a knife now. Sister grabs a knife. She's like, oh shit, there's guns being pulled. She grabs a knife. She starts swinging. Grandma coming in with a save. Brings a broom in, starts beating the shit out of the girl with the broom. She's like, get back, holding her down with the broom, in which, like, you think, okay, bro is taking a time to take a step back and realize his actions, maybe taking a breather here. Absolutely not. He grabs a can of Raid bug spray and proceeds to mace his sister in the face with it. And you're thinking, oh, man, that is hilarious. And then she grabs another can of Raid bug spray and begins to mace him in the face. All the while, the cops show up. It's just like, what is the movie with Eddie Murphy where he does a bunch of characters of himself?
Nutty Professor.
The Nutty Professor, the Clumps, right? That's the immediate thought that I have. And I swear I don't know the ethnicity of this family. I don't know. I'm not being racist here at all, but it just seems to me.
Full disclaimer.
Full disclaimer,
I
I'm
think
not a
that's
racist.
like-
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not.
like walking into the store and asking if their security cameras are
I'm
working.
not. No, I'm just saying. I just see this playing out in the Clumps. Like the Clumps are doing this exact same, and it was so comical in my head. They're both being held, obviously suing the other ones for battery and whatnot. But it was just like, God
So
damn.
who's at fault?
They're suing each other?
They're suing each other. Yeah, I mean they're pressing charges against each other. I think is what the terms are
Yeah.
there.
Oh, okay. I was
So-
gonna say, I don't want to assume things, but I don't think this family has money.
Hey, if you're fighting over,
They got enough Raid to have 2 cans with it, or
But no salt for the chicken.
That's what I'm saying. Like
2 cans, and they're like, I can't find a can of Raid when I need one.
Yeah.
Where did this take place, Jacob?
Fucking Georgetown. I don't know where Georgetown is. Let me click the actual link real quick.
Like
Hold on.
the United States?
Yes, in the United States. Yes, this is.
Yeah, which one? The
Georgetown
famous
County.
one or the one like 45 minutes away from us?
It's the famous one, the one that like they were Cinderella story in the that March Madness shit or whatever. Remember when Georgetown went to like the Sweet 16 or whatever?
That's George Mason, first of all.
Was it really? Oh shit! I thought it was Georgetown. Damn. Okay,
Georgetown
Georgetown,
is-
South Carolina.
Georgetown is in Northern Virginia.
Okay,
Yeah,
South Carolina. This is Georgetown,
Okay.
South Carolina. So
Okay, so there's probably a bunch of Georgetowns. There's
God,
probably
but
30
it's
in the
just-
United States.
Remember, I had a Georgetown Hoyas tank top when I was a kid, and I had no idea
That-
who they were.
Northern
I liked it.
Virginia.
but
Over there.
yeah, so Georgetown, South Carolina, they're
Okay.
fighting over. It's just when the dad pulled out the gun, I lost it. I was hilarious.
So,
I was like, yeah, that
who's
would
at
be a dad
fault?
thing. Oh man, that's a good question. I think that I have
Who's
to
cooking
say
the chicken?
I have to say the brother's at fault here. I think he just took it too far. He couldn't handle the shit talking. If you're the cook, you've got to handle the shit talking. You know, like
Oh,
people
I
are
was going
gonna.
to go further back. I was going to ask if he actually seasoned the chicken. If he didn't,
That
then-
is the truth. We don't know
Definitely at fault.
if he
He
did or
fucked up.
Yeah,
not.
who
Yeah.
was supposed to have seasoned the chicken?
Honestly, like
Yeah.
that's the
Other sister who's not there.
we'll have to get him on the podcast and ask him if he truly did season the chicken.
I'm good.
Maybe
I'm
have
good.
her on the
He's in jail.
podcast too to see like her side of it, you know, because I want the full story. Because I don't know, maybe he really didn't season the chicken. So, if that's the case, then yeah, he's at fault. So
I kind of want to blame the dad for raising 2 such monsters and being the type of person who's just going to fire a gun into the roof.
that's just
That's
like
how they
feeling.
handled it back in the day,
it's
man.
honestly just hilariously like he's watched way too many movies and he's like, yeah, this is gonna stop everything, and he just fires 2 into the ceiling. That's so funny to me. And then the grandmother beating him off with a broom, like, come on,
Beating him off.
beating, her, beating
Yeah.
her off with a broom, like, come on, man, that's just
Not better.
it's comedy. It feels like
It's
a
not
skit.
any better.
It feels like a skit.
Phrasing,
But
Jacob.
yeah, for
Crazy.
real, dude, don't punch your sister.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
come on.
Don't punch your sister.
And it's like
And season the chicken.
it
Gotta
feels
punch his sister. This guy fucked up so many times.
it does feel a little bit like maybe he's had to listen to her his entire life. Like maybe he's a little
Probably.
brother and she's just
Hey.
giving him shit his entire. And this was like he was like, this is my moment, man. I can't take this anymore. Fuck you. You know, you're done. And shoves her and I don't think you should punch her. I think shoving her is fine. Whatever, as long as you just like land on like a knife or something. And
Did you ever
impales
fight
her,
your
but-
sister?
No. My sister was like 5 years younger than us. Like, so I can push her over. You know. So
So you didn't. So
She didn't
I
stand
don't-
a chance.
I don't think I ever like really like. We were
I never
so-
interacted with her.
Yeah, honestly, like we were so like far apart in age that like we didn't really interact as kids a whole lot. But then like,
Right.
and then whenever she was older, like she was always doing softball. So it's like, fucking, I don't know. Was she even there at all? I don't know. Do I have a
Do
sister?
you even have a
I don't
sister?
know. But
She's the youngest, right?
yes,
Yeah. It was always you and your brother that did all the hell raising.
yeah.
Did you ever fight him?
Did we ever fight? I don't think we ever fist
'Cause
fought
you're-
like that. No, but he never got upset at me. I got upset at him. every
You're
time.
you're a real pacifist when it comes to that sort of stuff.
I don't like fighting, man. I don't like. It's all like, throwing fists and stuff.
Yeah, Ben wakes up in the morning. I'm praying for a fight today,
God,
and
somebody
you're just
say
like, I
something
don't
wrong.
want to fight.
Yeah. It's like,
Are you the elder, Ben?
Yeah.
What about you, John?
I had a younger sister.
I was the youngest of 4, all sisters.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
That
fun.
sucks.
That's fun.
not a lot of fist fights, but I did shove one of my sisters once, and I think one of my sisters has told me that I punched her in the face, but I was too young to really remember or anything.
She
But
probably deserved
When
it or
you were a
something,
baby,
know?
you just
I'm all whack.
She's never forgotten.
Give
it
me that
since.
bottle.
Just have no contribution to the sibling talk because I was just by myself. So
I mean,
Sorry.
but you did have a bunk bed, so you kind of got that experience.
I mean,
I still
think-
feel like
I
there's a
think my
darker
sibling
story. Yeah, there's a
That has
darker
to be,
story
right?
there. Yeah,
my sibling escaped, and I was stuck in a home.
you're actually
I
kidnapped.
think there
as
was
twins.
intentions.
Yeah.
I think there were intentions of having another child in my family, but if you knew anything about my family, it's probably best that that stopped at 1. So,
2 Alexes in the world. I don't know, man.
dude, because I mean, I'm
Yeah, they're the kind of family that would name their other kid Alex too. Jeez.
Yeah,
yeah.
2 Alex,
Yeah.
Alex and
Yeah.
Alex.
Yeah,
too.
Two
right.
Alexes.
They scrubbed the certificate. It was supposed to be Axel, but it's actually, whatever. 'Cause that's what my name came. My name was going to be Axel after Axl Rose, or Alex after Alex Van Halen. So that's
You
how I got
dodged
my
a
name.
bullet there.
Dude, you were like dancing on the blade of a knife, my friend. Like that was like your life. Honestly, I don't know, man. How much do you think your life changes if you come out as Axel?
I don't know. I mean,
A lot
it's
of
a name.
a lot more fights. I feel like you were in a
Oh,
couple of
I'm sure.
skirmishes, but like a lot
Yeah.
more. Like people make fun
But
of you all the time.
what's funny though is like for like the 7 generations. I know I've said this before, but like this previous 7 people. So my dad, my grandpa, my great grandpa, my great great grandpa, all males, no siblings. And then there's my daughter, who's the firstborn male in like 200 years of this family, and that's it. She's it. She's the last. She's the one and only.
Ended
Because
your
we're not
legacy.
we're not having it anymore, and it's just like my dad's still mad about it. He's like, you should have had more, and it's just like, what? So I could, because I get to pick, like
Yeah,
you
because
know,
that's how my parents ended up with like fucking 3 kids. All right,
yeah.
because my parents had to have a girl. They weren't gonna stop until they had a girl, and it's just like I could end up having a way worse situation with like 10 siblings or some shit. So
Yeah, my folks said if they could have guaranteed me a brother, they would have had another one. But the last thing they wanted was to have another girl after me, so that I'd be like bookended by
That
them.
estrogen sandwich.
man, and it's just like our parents being able to like have 17 kids, right, without any kind of
Here
like
he goes.
like,
He's fixing to start. Here he
it's
comes.
like it's almost like I don't know. The economy was different back then. Maybe they set themselves up for success, whereas like we've just been set up for failure our whole lives. Like and they're like, oh, have more kids. Yeah, who's gonna pay for those kids? Mom, dad?
I don't think paying for kids was historically something that people really thought about much. I think it was have more kids.
Labor. It's free
Or
labor.
work.
Have
Yeah,
kids
like,
now. Yeah. Then you got maids.
Because
the entire time.
200 years ago when you were out on a farmland, that's free labor. One of them dies, you just replace it by having another one.
Yeah.
That's
I only had 2, and I'm looking at the end of it now because they're getting older, and I'm like, shit, I'm going to lose my free labor in like 3 or 4 years here.
I mean, what are you gonna get started?
I'm going to have to take the trash out my goddamn self.
Kids these days don't move out of their parents' house.
Yeah,
you're
in this economy, you don't have
have
to
free
worry
labor
about it.
till
Yeah.
they're 30.
Shoot, yeah. Like I've still got a good long while for that, but trying to get the child to do anything. She's the sweetest child on earth, but like
My kids just like
And
complain.
don't get me wrong, my kids don't do anything well. I
that's
can get
that's
them
the key.
to do the things.
Whose fault's that?
If you don't do it well, then they won't ask you to do it again. That's
See, here's the thing.
Yes, I will.
Jacob's gonna say it's your fault because he blames everything on his parents and his teachers and everything else.
Hey.
He's 35. He's a 33-year-old man. If he can't do something, it's somebody else's fault.
I am just
So,
a byproduct.
by proxy,
I am
there
just a
you go.
byproduct of how I was raised. All right. So if I'm doing something wrong, that ain't on me, buddy. All right. That ain't on me. I was taught.
So
to do
Ben,
this.
so it's your fault that your kids can't do anything.
It is. I should have whooped them more when they were young. Like I'm not going to hit my kids. Damn, that was a mistake.
I'm telling
They
you,
would
man,
listen. I feel like they'd listen a lot better.
gentle
I'm also
parenting
pretty
is
sure
like,
that Ben did the dishes really horribly like 20 years ago before he had kids, so he wouldn't have to do dishes anymore. So
Well, yeah, no,
It's a move.
It kinda runs in the
expectations
family.
low. That's a solid life advice that I don't want to give my kids, but they figured out anyway.
I did dishes at Ben's house recently, and he said the dishwasher had never been so fully packed.
I can't pack a dishwasher, dude. I can't do it. I don't know
Oh,
why.
I'm an expert.
My wife hates me because I can't do it. All right, we're having like it's causing marital problems. Like she's gonna leave me soon because I can't pack the dishwasher. I don't know what kind of class I have to take to pack the fucking dishwasher, but I don't. It's no, it's like I don't know.
It's funny.
I just put whatever in there, man. I don't know.
Because I never had a dishwasher until I lived with my wife when we weren't even like engaged. So I just like when I moved in, that's the first time I ever had a dishwasher in my whole life. And so like, because I just I'm poured and we hand wash everything. So like I can fill it because I do it every day because I work from home. But it's just like I don't put as much in there as she would, but it gets done.
Yeah, you're
And-
doing it.
And like, but if it's a car, like we're leaving and I can pack a car like fucking Tetris and it's great. But I can't do that with dishes for some reason. And I don't know why.
That's
It seems like if you pack them in too tight, they're not going to get as clean, right? Like, shouldn't water
Yeah,
hit all the places?
You gotta have the right amount of
Gotta know,
space
bro.
between them.
it's some kind of class. I feel like you had to take some kind of class for it. But
I'm
My issue-
I'm a dish whisperer.
My issue is that I
Not
have
what's your
this,
spaghetti.
I have, yeah, I have this like thing in my brain where like So like I've said it several times, both my wife and my daughter, they'll walk in the house, they take their socks and shoes off and they fucking just leave it. And it drives me insane. Right. My wife's a lost cause. She's never going to change. Her parents never told her to change whatever. But I'm like trying really hard, like pick your shoes up. Just like, I don't care where you put them, just get them out of the way. Like this is the walkway. Right. But like, I can't, like I'll let it go. But then like after a day, like it just festers and eats away at me. And I just have to do it. Like I'm losing a battle because of me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's my fault. I can't win because I just can't let it go.
How does your wife feel about vacuuming? Like, does she like things being vacuumed?
She's the most organized and cleanest person I've ever met, except for when she's at home.
Oh, interesting. Because I recently got a Roomba.
Yeah.
Because I've got dogs and they just leave their fucking shit everywhere.
Right. Same.
Drives me nuts.
We had a Roomba, but we just ran it to death.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because it was nice. The nicest thing too is like everyone's got an excuse. It's like the Roomba's running tomorrow. Move your shit. Don't leave your stuff on the floor anymore. And so people have started putting stuff away. At least on the floor. It gets moved to other places.
It's places
where the Roomba goes.
Yeah, it's not in the walkway anymore. Yeah.
We have hardwood downstairs and then it's carpet upstairs. But like, and it's like I'll walk into her room and it is like an atom bomb's gone off. And I'm like, how do you live like this? Like, how do you live like this? And I know it's going to get worse. And like, it's just like, do I let her live that way? Or do I try to like instill some like pride in yourself and be like, you maybe shouldn't do that. But it's like expressionism and like, oh, let them be whatever.
Like, how important is it to you? You know, like to me, it's like, I'll clean like Quinn's room just because I like to clean. Like to make sure shit's clean, like when I get in my moods or whatever to clean. So it's
like, I'm not a fucking maid. Do it yourself.
I mean, you had her, you know.
I didn't have her. My wife did.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you guys did it, right? You got it on, and you popped out a kid. So it's like, I mean, hey, you brought her into the world, you know. So.
But the hardest part though is when the mother does the thing, monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah,
hey, you know.
And it's not a big deal to her, so like it's just like, and whatever, it's just like I've accepted it's a me problem. It's something I just have to deal with. But you know
what it comes down to with me, like Ben has heard more than anyone else, you know, the things that I bitch about when it comes to, you know, Ben's my venting person.
Okay.
You know, when I'm upset about something, I go up there and I'm this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, the way I look at it is this something that if it continues forever will eventually cause me to get a divorce? Because if it's not, then I'll just deal with it. I'll gripe about it, but I'll move on with it. And like, I kind of feel the same way, you know, like I don't like being nagged about something that I'm doing that isn't really that big of a deal. Like if you know, if role reversal, if I was leaving my shoes out and just like, oh, these fucking shoes are out again, and be like, is it something you're going to leave me over? No,
shut the fuck up.
Yeah, then just leave me alone about it. Like don't get angry. You know, maybe try to remind me, and I'll try to work on it. But I may not, and it's got to be okay.
It's like Key and Peele sketch. We're like, bitch.
There are days if I'm in a certain mood, I'll pick them up and I'll fucking kick them, or I'll just toss them on the other side of the bed, or just like, because like I just don't want them in the walkway. Like if I'm walking
somewhere inconvenient for her.
Oh, she doesn't give a shit.
Put them on top of her blow dryer or something,
like under her pillow.
I mean,
that's too far, because then that causes another problem.
Then she'll leave you.
Yeah, it's like, how far do you go before it becomes an actual problem? Like now it's just like an annoyance. So, but like I try to like switch it and do things that I know annoy her. She, like in the wintertime, she hates when I wear my shoes in the house.
Very big of you.
Healthy.
Yeah. So I'll just keep my shoes on all the time. And she'll just say, and she'll be like, why are your shoes on in the house? You've not left today. I'm like, well, I might need them. You never know.
You never know if there's an intruder. You got to run. You know.
I might step on her shoes. I need protection.
Well, the other day I was not wearing my shoes, and she had unplugged the straightener, and the fucking prong was sitting in there, and it was dark, and I fucking stepped on it, and I had this gnarly bruise. Oh God, I was just like, I wanted to just like You know,
yeah,
just
those are worse than a Lego.
and it's just like, I just didn't say anything. I was like, I stepped on your straightener. She's like, oh, it was in the floor, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
So anyway, Space Oddities 3 coming to Kickstarter. You know, perfect segue. Nailed it. So what do you guys? What other things you guys got working on? What are you guys working on? So other than that, I guess
That is Jacob's cue that he wants to go to bed.
I have to go pee so bad. Okay.
Well, go pee and come back real quick.
I'll wait. We're good.
Anyways,
I want you to.
okay, try again, Jacob. I don't even know what's going on anymore.
Anyways, so what else you guys got going on? Is it just Space Oddities 3? Where are we?
Well,
you know, give us the details.
it's a long story. It's a long story, and I'll start right now.
Okay. Just gonna
very slow. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. What else do we have working? Nothing. Our podcast is on semi hiatus still.
It's about to say Geeksploration. You just released a debrief there recently. I can't remember how long ago, but it was like a couple of
3 weeks
days.
ago.
3 weeks ago? Shit, I don't know, man. I don't look at
Oh yeah, we
dates.
do need to put an episode out about our Kickstarter.
So we mentioned it in the debrief, so I think that I mean, like, we've been on. I think we recorded something. What? Sunday, Monday, today, and tomorrow. Like, we've got shit recorded. Like, we're doing all kinds of stuff.
You got something tomorrow?
I think so. I don't know. It's hard to keep track. But like I've done more podcasting in the last 2 weeks than I have in the last year and a half, I feel like. So we may or may not put another episode out. We'll see.
Just let everyone else do it for you.
Yeah, right. Just release all these episodes on our feed, and we'll feel really productive.
Hey, we'll send it to you.
Yeah, but we need both of our
there.
fans to hear from us.
Both, yeah, that's how we feel. Like all 7 people that, and one of them's in the room right now, so who listens on the regular. So yeah, find it on Kickstarter. I guess in a perfect world, when's issue 4? John,
7 years from now. No, I mean it all depends on what happens next, because hopefully I'm not burnt out at the end of this one. That's what happened with after issue number 2 with running behind due to unforeseen circumstances. Getting behind on my deadline just really killed me inside, and then having to apologize and having to feel guilty the whole time I'm working on it and trying to push it out. It became a job. It became something really stressful and not joyous, and I was totally burnt out. So it took me a long time to get back in the mood to create. So I don't think it's going to happen this time around. So hopefully quicker. I mean, definitely quicker than between 2 and 3. I also was thinking that, after issue 3, we've got a solid enough base to where I would feel comfortable pitching. I know it'll be tough with comic book companies, because they'll probably want to see an ability to get it done faster if they or having 5 issues done before going monthly. But also pitching to animation houses. I think there's enough done now, and enough of the cast and enough of the story to where somebody could have a really good idea of what this thing is. Yeah. With the first 2 issues, there wasn't enough. There wasn't enough meat on the bone. So, but now we could pitch it, I feel. So we'll see if that's where I lean right after this is all done, or if I go right into issue number 4.
Let me ask you this: is if you happen to get to that point, what's more important, like owning it or getting a big paycheck for it?
How big
Paycheck. Sorry.
Hey,
I mean, I love that I've created something that I really enjoy and I have a lot of love for. But I mean, ask Eastman and Laird if they regret what they did,
They're still getting royalty checks for it. He still gets to write for it, so that helps.
Yeah. As long as
Eastman gave his shit up like a dummy, but at least he's still involved. But man,
I mean, as long as I can still play in the sandbox, I'd be fine with it. Like if they were like, yeah, we're going to buy this, fuck off. And I guess the paycheck would just have to be bigger.
Yes. Yeah. Disney has a lot of money. They could buy it. They could put it, whatever person they wanted to in whatever role. And Oh, never mind. That sounds shitty.
Ben would be
I've,
like,
I've been watching a lot of
every day.
videos of. I've been watching a lot of people bitching about the Acolyte. So,
Hey.
I had no idea that was even a show.
yeah,
I
I didn't watch it at all, but it's fun watching everybody freak out over it.
I'm not a Star Wars guy, so like there's like a dime a dozen for every show on Disney Plus, and I was just like, what is that?
My wife loved it. She liked it. She liked it.
Well, your wife is woke, so of course.
Yeah, well, I mean, like she liked it because of the story, because like it was talked about a Jedi before the Jedi were like a big deal.
No, nobody likes the story in Star Wars.
There were fucking
Nobody
witches
does.
in it, dude. There were Jedi witches. I don't know. There were Jedi witches. There were witches though. There
She
was a
only
whole
says
coven.
she liked it because if she said she hated it, then she's a bigot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's probably. But I mean, hey, you know, who isn't these days? That's what I'm saying. You know. But I don't know. I thought it was boring. I mean, it was like very long and
Kind of like this podcast.
Yeah, man.
Just keep
All
going.
the times
so
I
Jacob
had to
can't go.
pee during the Acolyte. Jeez.
I mean, people don't understand that, like, how many times I have to pee during episodes, and it's like a lot. And I always
That's
have to
because he
go.
drinks 110 gallons of water a day,
It's
and then
only like 2.
bitches
I'm on
that
my
he has
second
to.
one.
Oh, I gotta go.
On my
Anyways.
second
That's
gallon
why it
of
takes so
water,
long
man.
to edit the YouTube videos.
I'm
You
always
got to
peeing.
cut out all those pee breaks.
Yeah,
is.
we will put the link. I'm sure he'll do it somewhere. Like he'll put the link somewhere.
I
in
probably
there
put
to
artwork
go,
at some point. I've been doing that, and I'll put some artwork.
and
here.
I'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah.
Obviously, well, you know how it is. But you guys aren't really that active on social media anymore. It's good for you.
You guys want to plug your social medias by chance, or is it just like?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll plug my Instagram because that's where I post artwork and Space Oddities updates when they're happening or when I feel excited about something. On Instagram, I'm at Beefy McStudley.
Okay, nice, solid name, solid handle.
Yep.
I guess I should say.
Discord name too.
Oh, nice. All right.
Oh, is that my Discord name too? Yeah, I'm more active on Discord now. I know how to use it, but
Hey, that
You're
is-
in our Discord. I always see you every time you're on. I'm like, hey, I know that guy.
And then we do have a Twitter, the space. I think it's at Space Oddities Co.
Okay.
His comic was too long. And then Geeksploration Pod is also there. They're mostly me tweeting stuff about this campaign right now, and will probably dissipate into almost nothing shortly thereafter.
Hey,
You also have a Discord.
Yeah, I'm on the Discord, Funk Bucket.
hell
Yeah.
yeah. Hell
But I'm saying you have your own Discord.
oh yeah,
I guess,
Exploration
yeah.
the podcast.
Yeah, there is one. There's a few people on there.
Dude, you guys, they're just like us because I always forget that we have a Discord, and
We should just merge our Discords.
I
That'd
just
be-
recently told people they can invite people to the Discord, and nobody
Yeah,
cares.
we were
to, but
apparently in
hey,
beta for like 3
Hey,
years.
it took me a
Hey, if you
while
wanna
to make sure all the roles were set up and stuff. So
If you want to get a bunch of people to join your Discord that don't interact at all, just offer free video games. And
oh shit, we should do
I
that.
tried that on a Twitch stream one time, and it did not do anything.
Well,
is anyone watching it?
that's
Huh?
the problem is that you got to have people watching it to do that. Twitch
Yeah,
streams are
there's that too. No one watched. There's like 3 people.
no, I don't
Anyways.
miss streaming, that's for sure. So
I don't either. So Jacob can go pee. As always, thanks for coming on and
Thank you
hanging
guys so
out.
much.
and
It's been such
we
a-
will-
Thank you for
fun.
having us.
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's been too long.
Yeah, we'll certainly bring you. Well, like we didn't have a guest for like months, and then like we have one last week, we got one this week, we're supposed to have one next week, and it's just like I guess August is guest month. I don't know.
But
So
That's-
you guys just kind of like gave up on the third rotating co-host thing
Hey,
after a while. Just
it was
kinda
always in
faded
our
into
hearts.
obscurity.
So
Listen, we go through phases. You remember the weekly top 5? We did that for a while, and it
Yep.
was just like I don't want to do this anymore.
it's all
Yeah,
about
there's
it's all about
never-
the free flow. You got to just like it's
Never
all
an
about
end, it just kind of-
vibes.
Goes away.
That's exactly how the podcast is going to go too. It's going to be like episode 341, and then like it will just never be heard from again. It's
just gone in the wind.
I don't know. The thing is, it's like we just enjoy doing it too much. I don't give a shit. Like it's
Yeah.
just hang out, whatever.
Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out the YouTube video. I've been doing this for a little while, so I just want to check in here. Just as Alex did mention, we did open up the Discord. I'll put a Discord link in the description below. Like and comment, subscribe. Let me know if you enjoyed these videos or not. I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter if you do or not, 'cause I'm probably going to continue doing them. But hey, I'm here. Baby, we're here. So yeah, just let me know in the comments below what your favorite color is. That's something that YouTubers do, right? Yeah, write about how yellow is dumb and robin egg blue is probably the superior color, honestly. I mean, hey, I like it. I think if I had to pick a favorite color, it'd probably be like a desert sand color. Ooh, I like that on a car. Anyways, comment below your favorite color. Check out the links in the description, and check out Space Oddities on fucking Kickstarter. And yeah, just thanks for watching, and see you later.